Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Shooting for the Stars podcast with y'all's one and only host, Cameron Williams. And today, and yes, NFL is back. NFL season is back. You know, the Thursday night football opening night just got done winding up, and we just got done winding down in Kansas City and GEHA Field, live in Kansas City, with a two-time reigning defending champs took on the Baltimore Ravens today. And like I said, in the score, Kansas City Chiefs obviously won 27-20. And like I said, it was a thriller. It was a lot to take away from this game, and I'm going to be getting all into it. And then after, I'm going to be giving a little bit of an early preview for the rest of the games that take place this week, including for tomorrow, Friday night game in Brazil with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. A lot that's going to be very anticipating. And then of course the Sunday night games, and of course the Sunday games, and then of course the following game, the Monday game, to close out week one before we head into the foreseeable week two. Now I want to get into some stuff for Baltimore. As we all know, the Baltimore Ravens, like I said, Lamar Jackson definitely put up under. He make no mistake about it. He was not the reason why they lost this game. I mean, he was Mr. Do-It-All in this game. I mean, Lamar Jackson completed 26 out of 41 of his passes, threw 272 passing yards, had one touchdown pass that came a little bit improvisational, just like a lot of the passing plays that was tonight for Baltimore, to Isaiah Likely, who I'm going to be getting to later. He was absolutely big time, and he threw absolutely no picks. Meanwhile, his arch nemesis Patrick Mahomes, very efficient like he always is, picking up right where he left off from last year. We all know completed 20 of 28 of his passing attempts. That had 291 passing yards, also had one touchdown, also had one interception by Roquan Smith, which was one heck of a dive right there. He was looking for Raheem Rice in the middle of the field, and Roquan Smith, they can see, got hit, threw it under pressure, threw it while getting hit, and we all knew what the outcome of that is. When you get throw it like that, no control, the ball's almost baffled to get picked off. But like I said, this game right here came down to the wire. It really was. And like I said, let me get into Baltimore first. Before I get into anything, like I said, the refs made their debut too. The refs, this game right here was a sign not only for both these two teams, but also it's going to be a sign that for things to come around across the league as this season gets on and swinging. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Baltimore Ravens had 7 penalties. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the first and second play of the game was a penalty, illegal formation. And we've seen a lot of illegal formations. That's stuff that has to get cleaned up. And I understand it's the first game of the season, but when as the season gets going, you can't afford to have mistakes like that. You can't afford to have guys not knowing where to line up. All that stuff has to get cleaned up. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But But now I'm going to get into the game now. And as we all, like I said, Lamar Jackson, like I said, rushing yards, had 16 carries, rushed for about 122 rushing yards. I mean, this was the 14th time in his career where he's rushed for over 100 yards in a game. And now also tonight, he also moved past Russell Wilson, going into third for all-time QB rushing yards, which is also a amazing milestone for him. And like I said, let's just get into the breakdown now. And we all know for Baltimore, entering this game, we all knew the big topic was going to be that offensive line. We all knew, we seen it. Steve Spagnuolo done a great job last year. Like I said, he did a really great job of holding and containing Lamar Jackson in that offense. Last time we seen him in the AFC Championship game. And like I said, this time Lamar Jackson, they were able to have success, but that success really came off of backyard and improvisational football, and which is a huge standout to that defense. And one thing we were talking about, the Kansas City Chiefs, we all know they lost their big-time cornerback in L'Jarius Sneed in a trade this offseason to the Tennessee Titans. We all, so when they plug in a guy like Justin Watson on that outside, you have Trent McDuffie. When you have as your number one corner, he's an all-pro. Make no mistake about that. And he picked up where he left off too from last year. That cornerback 2 position is a position that we're going to have to keep our eye on for Kansas City. And Justin Watson did a really great job tonight, at least showcasing what he can bring for this Kansas City defense. But like I said, Baltimore, Derrick Henry, like I said, it's like I said, continuity. And right now, when watching both teams, it looks like, especially Baltimore, it's a lot of newness. It is. It really is. It's a lot of newness. You got a new offensive coordinator in Todd Monken. Not a new offensive coordinator. This is going to be his second year, so new guys are learning his scheme, and then you have to kind of rehabilitate how he goes about it. Because last year, his first year, you didn't have a bell cow in your backfield like Derrick Henry, and we all know Derrick Henry is used to being under center, so you can have those, outside zone runs. It's kind of hard to do those outside zone runs when your quarterback like Lamar Jackson prefers to be in the shotgun. So like I said, it's about getting to know each other, feeling comfortable within each other, building team camaraderie, and just learn and just play. And like I said, the more they play together, the better they're going to be. But the way they played tonight is not going to be sustainable. And real quick, I want to go back to that last play at the end of the game, which the play before Isaiah Likely, caught that pass, but it was out of bounds. It was Zay Flowers. It was right there. I believe if Zay Flowers right there at this moment right here just would have stayed still in that little hole and just stayed put, Lamar, he would have been right there. Lamar Jackson could have put it right on the money, but instead he kept running, and it was a little bit, like I said, missed timing, quarterback and wide receiver not on the same page. And that's fine. That's fine. It's the first game of the year. We all know Zay Flowers had one heck of a rookie year last year. He came in today, had 6 receptions, 37 yards. It was all over the place, I will say. It was really all over the place. But like I said, as far as, the big time difference maker in this game for me was tight end, or what I could really call wide receiver, Isaiah Likely, who's going to play a huge critical part in this offense, especially with a guy like Mark Andrews getting worked back into the scheme of things again. You really want to have a guy like that because he's a guy who could take the top off of a defense. It can really cause one-on-one situations right there between linebackers and smaller defensive backs. So you like to have them. So you like to have those options for you. And as far as Kansas City, man, like I said, y'all know what time it is. The formula is the same now. Just win and repeat. I mean, literally, just win and repeat. I mean, first of all, Xavier Worthy, all the naysayers, all the doubters saying he's too skinny, he's too small, he's not physical enough. Well, God dog it, his first play in the game, wasn't no pass, it wasn't no deep ball, just little a trickery, little jet sweep wrapped around, came around the end and had great blocking. The play would have been blown up if it wasn't for the blockers in front of him. But man, the way in which he got downfield and took off, I mean, it's like the speed in which he had the ball was the same speed in which he kept in. And like I said, and the more he gets comfortable within this offense, and the more he plays with Patrick Mahomes, and the more, like I said, Xavier Worthy is going to be a big part of what this team does. And you know why? Because Andy Reid does know this. One thing you cannot teach is speed. And that young man out of Texas has big-time speed. And we all know the old saying, speed kills. He also had a receiving touchdown today. He had 2 receptions for 47 yards, 1 receiving touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown. That receiving touchdown, like I said, came off of Marlon Humphrey. We all know Marlon Humphrey, he was assuming he sagged off, assuming that he had backside help from one of the safeties, assumed wrong, and he got behind the defense, and it was a broken play. And like I said, we're going to see a lot of those with Xavier Worthy just because of his speed alone, and like I said, and the ability in which he can get downfield and stretch. And we heard Patrick Mahomes say early in the week, everything is so predicated. Everybody's so focused on the deep ball and worried about the deep 50-yard bombs, the moon balls and all that stuff. But when you have guys, and one thing I love about, because like I said, Patrick Mahomes last year, let's be honest, statistically, we seen Patrick Mahomes. Last year was not his best season. He'll tell you that. He had a great season, won a Super Bowl, but he had a good season, but it wasn't up to his standards. And you know why? And it wasn't his fault. When your receivers are dropping 44 passes, that's not your fault. Okay, like I said, we all know incompletions is going to go down on the quarterback stat sheet. He's going to make the quarterback look bad. But if you really watch the games, a lot of those passes were dropped. Just like tonight, a lot of missed opportunities to score. We all know that Juju Smith-Schuster play where he had the ball right there and just couldn't hang on to it. Those are kind of always tough to, you have great possession going up with it. But then when that defender comes from behind you and kind of whack you a little bit and you fall down to the ground, it's kind of hard to hold on to control that ball, right? And then, of course, that third down play with Travis Kelce. Like I said, it was some missed opportunities for KC to put a little bit more points on the board. But nevertheless, like I said, first game of the year, and even the defending champs got to knock some of the rust off and get back to playing with each other again. But a guy who I really liked is second-year wide receiver Raheem Rice. I mean, that dude absolutely killed Baltimore down the middle of the field. He looks like a #1 receiver. I mean, this dude has absolutely stepped up. I mean, he hit him with daggers, drags, everything. I mean, seriously, he was all over the middle of the field. I mean, just catch and go routes. And that's what I want to say. And like I said, we didn't even see the best of Kansas City tonight, y'all. We didn't even see all of Kansas City's weapons. Hollywood Brown did not play tonight. Was a little banged up. Think about it. That's going to be another speed dynamic factor for Kansas City to throw into the mix alongside a big-time blazing speed guy in Xavier Worthy, y'all. Think about that. Just let that sink in your minds for a minute. And when you have guys like that can take the top off the defense, that allows guys like Raheem Rice, Travis Kelce, Justin Watson, guys like that, Juju Smith-Schuster, even Isaiah Pacheco, who can come out and catch out the backfield. All that opens up the underneath stuff, the slants, the little drag routes and stuff like that. Just catch and run and pick up yards. And one thing Kansas City showcased tonight, they showcased the ability to be able to hurt you through all three levels of the game. Short, intermediate, and stretching the ball deep down the field, and also still having that ability to also run with the football. And as far as for Baltimore, like I said, their identity, at least from tonight, has not changed. They won the time of possession. They had 33 minutes and 7 seconds of time of possession compared to KC. They only had 26 minutes, 27 of time of possession. They tried to keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands as much as possible. They did, but at the same token, like I said, they have to, you have to be able to find, I think this game came down to which team was more in sync and which team had more chemistry, and obviously it was the defending champions. It really was. Although that last drive, I did like that last drive by Baltimore. I really felt like they really had the opportunity. They came this close to scoring, and sometimes in a 2-minute drill, what do we hear coaches tell us so many times in a 2-minute drill, especially for their case, in this 2-minute drill, for instance, they didn't have any timeouts. So what do? You don't sit over there and try to look for the deep ball and try to get everything back all in one play, because that's unrealistic. You're not going to get everything back all in one play. Y'all guys understand where I'm coming from? You take the check downs, you throw your little quick outs, you have your runners get outside of bounds, and you stop the clock, and you save as much time as possible. And when it's there, and only when it's there, you find that time to take a strike deep down the field, just like we saw Lamar Jackson doing that last play of the drive when he was rolling out and through that nice little back shoulder catch to Rashad Bateman for about 30 yards to get them deep inside KC's goal line. That was a big plays like that is what I'm talking about. And like I said, for Lamar Jackson, he looks lighter on his feet. He looks quicker. He looks more confident. And I love how he was getting into his offensive line in the first half, yelling, kind of getting on, pumping them up, letting them know. That's that stuff John Harbaugh was talking about. He's grown into a naturally born leader. And from the quarterback position, that's what you want to say. Because when you've looked, because Lamar Jackson has 24 losses in his career. 5 of those losses came from this team, the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. That's 21% of your losses coming from this franchise. Like I said, when you've lost that many times, as a leader, you being the main guy, you being the fourth pick, and like I said, and credit to Zach Orr. Credit that Zach Orr, defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Defense looked real good tonight. I will say they were flying around. We all know Baltimore has that Rough Rider mentality. We all know I love their intestinal fortitude that they come with, that they play with, that Rough Rider mentality. I love that about them, and they showed that again tonight. He was a former player, and they all say he's very loud. He's like a former player. He's like a former player out there when he's coaching. Defense looked real good. They flied around. Again, I say Roquan Smith, who was acquired last year from the Chicago Bears, stepped up and made a big-time play, in which I love to see. So like I said, all's good. Like I say, a great game, a game that I thought was almost going to overtime. And like I said, for both teams, this is going to be about, just getting better, figuring out your weaknesses and stuff like that, and correcting those and building upon them. And now I'm going to get into the games now following for Friday night, Sunday's games, and also Monday's games now. Let's go ahead and get to Philadelphia and Green Bay, okay? Packers and Eagles in Brazil. And like I said, I don't think nobody, and I mean nobody, needs this win more than Jalen Hurts. And I mean that. I'm going to bring in some interesting stats from the end of how Jalen Hurts ended off last season. From week 11 to week 18 last season, well, like I said, Jordan Love, he finished off weeks 11 through 18 last year. He went sitting with win-to-loss ratio 6-2. What's it called? Had an 18-1 TD to interception ratio, and had a total QBR of 76. Jalen Hurts 3-5 the last from week 11 to week 18, 8-7. 8-7 touchdown to interception ratio, and a 51 total QBR rating. Like I said, what's it called? When I'm looking at this right here, and the big picture for me is to see, because I do believe in this saying, what you do, how you end a year ago, which was horrible. We all know what happened, how the Eagles got bounced out by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round, and embarrassment lost to Baker Mayfield and company. Like I said, we all know that. It's going to be about how you respond. With anything, it's always going to be about how you respond, because the way your bad tendencies and stuff can carry over to the next season. And honestly, me personally, and if I'm Matt LaFleur and company, I'm starting off the game sending it to Jalen Hurts. I'm blitzing the crap out of Jalen Hurts early to start off this game just to see if they learn or if they can counter, if they gotten better from their mistakes last year. Because Jalen Hurts was horrible against the blitz last year. I mean, absolutely froze against the blitz. So like I said, if I'm the Packers, like I said, Jordan Love ended off the season great. And honestly, my early MVP candidate, he is going to be my early runner-up to MVP. I expect Jordan Love to have a fantastic breakout year. You got Josh Jacobs in that backfield, a hard wrecking ball back there. You got Justin Watson on that defense, Jair Alexander, Kenny Clark and company. Boy, I mean, those guys can play, man. So like I said, in this game, it's going to be a good one in Brazil. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But in this one, go ahead and give me Green Bay. Give me Green Bay 27-24 by 3. Okay, next game, let's go ahead and get to Carolina and New Orleans. Carolina and New Orleans, like I said, both teams, of course, didn't make the playoffs a year ago. But for Carolina, Bryce Young had a horrific rookie year, a rookie year that many people would like to forget. 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Like I said, most of that wasn't on him. His only weapon was I want to say washed up because not an in prime Adam Thielen, but that not in prime Adam Thielen still gave you 103 receptions and just a little bit over 1,000 receiving yards. Now you can pump the brakes now, and you got two other guys right next to you to relieve some pressure, not only off Bryce Young, but also off Adam Thielen. You got rookie Xavier Legette. The Panthers traded up to get him early in the draft, and then they also brought in a former wide receiver from Pittsburgh, who was George Pickens' partner in crime for the longest, in Deontay Johnson. So now Bryce Young has a new set of toys, and I cannot wait to see what he does with them. As far as for the Saints, it's not going to be no tough. As far as for the Saints, another team I was talking about, they have that Rough Rider mentality. We all know Tyrann Mathieu back in that backfield, Marshawn Lattimore, Paulo Adube, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan. Like I said, those guys fly around, man. They're gonna make life tough on Bryce Young. This is a divisional game early. We know about the divisional games. You have to take advantage and win these games early as you possibly can, because they can come back and play a big part down the line, especially if you're talking about contending in the postseason. But go ahead. Let me go ahead and get Carolina in an upset. Let me get Carolina 17-13. 17-13. Don't think it's going to be a lot of offense. I think it's going to be just a good enough balance. Like I say, it's going to be played in the dome. I think the Panthers go on the road and steal one for once and leave some fans in shock. Okay. Next up, Vikings and Giants. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the Minnesota Vikings rookie quarterback, who was selected the 10th pick, in J.J. McCarthy, but that is fine, though. He's going to be out with a right meniscus for the rest of the season. We won't see him till his sophomore year. But here comes Sam Darnold, who was more than capable to be a starter. Like I said, his last year was with San Fran. Didn't play, lost the starting job early in training camp battle last year to Brock Purdy, who was now like he's going to be the future for San Fran. But when you have Kevin O'Connell, who was a quarterback whisperer, an offensive-minded genius, you got Jordan Addison, you got T.J. Hawkinson, you got Justin Jefferson, and you're going up against a New York Giants team that's fairly rebuilding. They're still trying to somehow make Daniel Jones the future of this team. And Brian Daboll, like I said, it was still got to watch out though. I like Malik Neighbors. I expect him to play a big part in what they do this season and also this week. But like I said, this is the obvious one. I have to take the Vikings. On this one. Then Brian Flores on the defensive side of the ball. I love that defense. And I love how he called it last year. It was a real unique defensive scheme that he called last year. Go ahead and give me Minnesota. Give me Minnesota in this one. I'll take Minnesota 25-15. 25-15. Give me Minnesota. In New York. Next up, let's take a trip down to Cincinnati. Let's take a trip down to Cincinnati, Paul Brown Stadium. We all know the Cincinnati Bengals will be going up against the New England Patriots. Gerard Mayo will be, I think, Zappy Hill is going to be the quarterback. We won't see Drake May, at least not yet. And as far as Cincinnati, like I said, it's going to get back. Just try to keep first thing first. We all say this every year. At least I say this. Joe Burrow can be the biggest threat to Patrick Mahomes if he stays healthy. We know Jamar Chase. We know the stuff going on with him not receiving a new contract yet. He wants to make more than Justin Jefferson by a penny and all that stuff. He reported his first day of practice not too long ago, I believe 24 hours ago. He made his report to Bengals headquarters and it was in full pads and ready to go. And Zach Taylor, if you ask head coach Zach Taylor, he says he's going to play. And like I said, a big part for Cincinnati is, for me, Like I said, of course, it has to get to the playoffs. We've seen what he did last year with Jake Browning, not bad. But you're paying Joe Burrow a lot of money, and like I said, health is a big factor. If he can stay healthy, the Cincinnati Bengals can go on and have a very successful season. Make no mistake about it. T. Higgins, Burrow back there. I mean, like I said, it is a plethora of weapons. And on that defense, they have a bunch of unsung heroes on their side of the ball as well that I also love and is very fond of in Cincinnati. The biggest question mark for me is just that, can they have stability at the quarterback position? Because they have, like I said, all-world talent at the position. It's just a matter of, can he stay healthy? And as far as for New England, we're all rebuilding. We just want to see if Gerard Mayo is the coach of the future, and we want to see, hopefully we can see somewhere down the line Drake May, get some snaps in. But as far as New England, it's just simply about rebuilding right now and figuring out what works, what doesn't work, who's going to be a part of the future, and who's not going to be a part of the future. But nevertheless, let me go ahead and take Cincinnati. Let me take Cincinnati 33-10. I think this will be a disgusting blowout. Man, make no mistake about that. Okay, now let's travel down to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where we have two veteran quarterbacks making their debut, okay? And yes, I'm talking about Kirk Cousins, and I'm talking about 13-year veteran Russell Wilson, okay? Now, if y'all asking me who I think is going to win this game or who needs to win this game, because I'm going to tell you right now who needs to win this game and who needs to hit the ground running to really secure his quote-unquote pole position. It has to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, it has to be Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. I mean, they make no mistake about it. And let me calm down for a minute and let me let you know why. Like I said, this is going to be a good one. I believe this can be one. We'll put it like this. For Atlanta, like I said, Kirk Cousins, a guy that you paid him a fortune to get there, and you paid him a fortune. You got Bijan Robinson, you got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts, big time threats on the outside, and then the offensive line is revamped. And then on that defense, man, you have two elite ball hawks and Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons. Russell Wilson knows Justin Simmons probably more than anybody, at least should, in his 2 years spent in Denver. Okay, we all know was top first in interceptions just a year ago. Justin Simmons, I'm talking about. You still got Jared back there. You still got AJ Terrell locking down things on the outside. Like I said, for me early, it's going to be about can Russell Wilson be able to read those safeties and win the battle with those safeties? Because we all know he hangs on to the ball entirely too long, way too long. That can't happen. And if he's hanging on to the ball too long, and if he's not getting that ball out quick, and if it's not precise, and if it's not in rhythm, like I said, that lets me know that those safeties are winning, because you're really going to have to watch out on what's going on around the middle of the field, because you have to know where those two guys are. Those are two elite ball hawks right there, and they can be the difference between Pittsburgh losing and winning. But who needs to win this game and who needs to have a really good season, no doubt about it, is Russell Wilson. Why? Because his career is on the line, literally. And I hate to say this, but I'm being dead serious. Russ, your career is on the line. Because the reality is, if it doesn't work out here in Pittsburgh, nobody's going to buy it that, oh, it's a bad situation. Okay, Nathaniel Hackett, took the blame for that. She didn't play good underneath Sean Payton. Okay, nobody's going to think it's Sean Payton. Okay, so this is your last chance. You win the black and gold now. You need to revamp your name. And the reason why he does, because we wouldn't be talking about it if he was just, oh, I'm getting old, and just took it like anybody else. Russell Wilson cares about his legacy and about how his career ends more than anybody that I think I've ever seen before in my life. I mean, his image, his persona, all that stuff matters to him. It's important. It's very important that he ends the last tailor end of his career for however long it is, and that it has to be in Pittsburgh, and it has to be winning football in Pittsburgh, because I don't know how long his leash is there. But one thing I can tell you that leash is not going to be as long as it was in Denver. I can tell you that, because you're only getting paid $1.2 million. And you know what that means? That means they don't owe you nothing. Inevitably, that really means Pittsburgh can really cut him after week 4 if he started sticking up the joint. Not saying he will, but I'm just calling it like I see it, okay? And then as far as for Kirk Cousins and them, like I said, he could start off bad. Kirk Cousins could start the first half of the season kind of shaky. Why? Because he still has that excuse that I'm still lingering off the injury and all that kind of stuff, okay? So you have that bearing down. You have that to work with. You have that to work with as well, because we haven't seen Kirk Cousins play a game. He got since week 8 in 2023, since tearing that Achilles injury, 35 years old. So 2 veteran quarterbacks, 2 new teams. Very important that they get off to a good start. I believe Pittsburgh is going to have to score about 23 or 24 points to take this game, though, which is not really the Steelers' forte. We all know that they're going to run the ball, play great defense, and just just find a way to win. They just have a great head coach who finds a way to win. But against an Atlanta team that has a lot of firepower, give me Atlanta to win this game. I believe Atlanta takes this game 27-20. Ironically, the same score tonight for the Chiefs and the Ravens. Give me Atlanta week 1 to take that one at the crib. Okay, now let's go down to let's go to Indy now, where we have the Texans and the Colts. Former Rookie of the Year going up against sophomore Anthony Richardson. 2 sophomore rookie quarterbacks going at it again. We all know Anthony Richardson shows flashes of being a franchise quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts in his 4 games played last year after going down with a season career-ending injury. And he's back again, going to be making his debut against the team, but it almost came down to the line in Week 18. Remember that play with Gardner Minshew? It was literally a Gardner Minshew swing pass to the outside that would have had the Colts in the postseason. But nevertheless, didn't happen. Was dropped, and here we are now. We're all back for a new season. Shane Steichen, DeMeco Ryans, 2 sophomore head coaches. I mean, let's go ahead and get it going, baby. I mean, the AFC South, man, is definitely loaded. When I look at the Houston Texans, like I said, C.J. Stroud, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Nico Collins, you got Tank Dell, you got Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce. Like I said, it is a lot of good weapons right there now in that offense. This is a Texas team that looks very fun right now. But one thing I will say, it's going to be about how do you utilize all 3 of these guys. How do you make everybody happy? Because we know Stephon Diggs is the guy who wants his. But as far as Stephon Diggs, how is he going to act if the ball's not technically going his way? Because C.J. Stroud's going to get the ball to whoever's open. He's unselfish. He doesn't care who gets it. The only thing that kid cares about is winning. And as far as Anthony Richardson, can he pick up from where he left off from the first 4 games that we seen him last year? Because he looks darn good. He showed ability to be able to throw the ball. We all know he can run. He's a big physical dude. Kind of has that Cam Newton-like stature. I love the little glimpse that I seen him last season in his rookie year. I wish I would have seen more, and here we are now getting ready to watch him. But I will say, let me go ahead and get the Texans in this game. Let me get the Texans 33-30. Texans 33-30 in an offensive high-power game. I believe C.J. Stroud picks up from where he left off, and I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be a big part in this game as well. I believe, it's like I said, with these kind of games right here, when you're talking about debuts, I believe the tone setter is going to be what happens in the trenches. You have to win in the trenches first, and that's going to be the first thing I'm going to be looking at. And I think Houston has done all but that to be able to upgrade their team, especially when you look at Will Anderson and also Danielle Hunter, who they've added from Minnesota, guy who had 16 sacks a year ago, who was a 5-time Pro Bowler. Okay, so you got that working into effect for you as well. Okay, give me the Texans 33-30 on the road. Now let's go to Buffalo, a new look Buffalo Bills team, and Arizona Cardinals, who has their new dominant superstar, hopefully say the elite wide receiver, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Kyler Murray's back from injury. And as far as for the new adaptation for everybody here in this game, like I said, the big key indicator for me for Buffalo is going to be, okay, Josh Allen, we didn't start talking about Josh Allen like that, being this and being that, until Stephon Diggs arrived on the scene. There are many speculations going out there right now that Stephon Diggs made Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to have his chance to nip those rumors and nip those reports in the butt this upcoming Sunday, and which I hope he does do. Like I said, you got Curtis Samuel, you got the rookie Keon Coleman, okay, you got Khalil Shakir, okay, you got Dawson Knox. The defense is, like I said, lost a lot of guys, but I believe in Sean McDermott. He's a great defensive mind, and I believe Josh Allen really can be the focal leader of this team. They're getting paid a lot of money. We seen Patrick Mahomes did it when he had to lose less talent. He couldn't have superstars all over the board and won 2 Super Bowls with not even one of the best, at least on paper, the best offensive weapon, without even having the best stacked offense. When you're that dude, when you're that franchise quarterback, quote unquote, it's your job to be able to lift your team up and put them on your back when times get tough. That's what a franchise quarterback is supposed to do, especially when you're making a fraction of the team's salary cap. And as far as for Arizona, Kyler Murray, can he come back? He looked good the last 4 games of the season that he played. But like I will say for Arizona, it's going to be about continuity. Like I say, how James O'Connor, how does Shane Gannon do in his second year as head coach coming over? He was the defensive coordinator for Philly 2 years ago. It's going to be about that. How do you look in your first year? How do you look in year 2 now? Arizona's still going to be a wild card team, a team we really can't sleep on, but they're in a very tough division with the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks. So you can't expect too much out of them, but give me Buffalo to win this game 23-10. I got Buffalo 23-10. Okay? Now, Titans and Bears. Caleb Williams' debut. And like I said, I know a lot of people probably thinking that, the Bears are just going to knock the Titans off their socks. Caleb Williams is going to dominate. Guys, this is the NFL. Let's not disrespect Tennessee now. I know they had a coaching change with Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel not being there no more. Many like myself still wonder why. He was a real good defensive mind. Many say he was a little too aggressive, a little too rough. We don't know what's up with that. But like I said, and they still have some guys you gotta watch out for. And last time I checked, the Titans defense is nothing to take lightly. Okay, you still got Harold Landry. You got the Seattle Seahawks former safety duo and Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. I thought that was ironic, bringing both starting safeties over from Seattle, bringing them both, making them starting safeties on your team. Okay, they got in, like I said earlier, they brought in L'Jarius Sneed, who was the Kansas City Chiefs' #1 cornerback a year ago. They couldn't afford to keep him. I mean, dude was a beast in man and in the slot. Okay, you got Awuzie from Dallas. You got Jeffrey Simmons still down there making plays. So like I said, Danico Autry, like I said, the Tennessee Titans, this is a team right here. Like I said, they're still ferocious on defense. And by the end of this game, I feel like we could be looking the biggest takeaway could be more so of Will Levis than what it could be Caleb Williams in this game. But make no mistake about it, I believe Caleb Williams should put on a nice game, though. He's going to make flashes. He's going to show why he was picked first round pick, pick 1. But you can't just disrespect Tennessee like that, man. It's a lot of good studs on this defense, a lot of guys that fly around, and I believe the identity, like I said, their intestinal fortitude is not going to change whatsoever. The mentality still should be the same there for Tennessee to come out there, play fast, play hard, and run the ball. And like I said, hopefully the offense and Will Levis can put you in a position to hopefully win the game later on in the game. But as far as who I have winning this game, let me go ahead and get Chicago in a tight one, 23-20. But make no mistake, it's not going to be no blowout. I don't see no domination whatsoever by Caleb Williams happening in this game. I like the weapons that he has. But like I said, I think more so it's going to be about Caleb Williams the first half of the season, getting comfortable, getting adjusted, and learning how to play the right way in the NFL. Learning how to play with guys like DJ Moore, Romeo on Doomsday, with Keenan Allen, who's going to be your #1 receiver. Guys of that nature, Cole Kmet, guys of that nature and stuff like that. Like I said, that's going to be the biggest part for me. But I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be more of a defensive game than what we're giving them credit for. And I think the Titans are going to be a sneaky good team than what we're giving them credit for. Mark my words, okay? Okay, next game. Let's go ahead and go to Jacksonville and Miami. Extensions all across the board. We all know Trevor Lawrence got that big-time extension this offseason. And then, of course, for Miami, congratulations to Coach Mike McDaniels. This will be his 3rd year as the head coach. He's led this team to the playoffs in the last 2 seasons, his first 2 years as head coach. Quite impressive, even though he does not have a playoff victory to show for it yet. But it's okay, though, Coach. You're young. You got time. And the offense and the wizardry that you've created has been great. And as far as for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence has been a match made in absolute heaven. I mean, a match made in heaven. And we're going to see they can pick up from where they left off also last year. We all know that win that they had. Had a pretty good had a pretty good year last year. That win that they had against the Chargers, starting off in that wild card round. They said that was good. And as far as for the Miami Dolphins, like I said, speed kills. It's going to be about how tough are they now? Are they more of a tougher team now than what they were a year ago? Because we all know they had complications. They struggled mightily on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs in that wild card round. We know they're going to be good in early part of the stage, especially when they're at home. Playing when the weather's on their side. But it's going to be more so about, for Miami, how do they do longer than the stretch of the season when it starts getting cold, when playoff weather starts to mount and stuff like that. Okay, that's going to be the takeaway for me. But Tua Tagovailoa is also going to be able to show me, are you worth every penny that you've gotten this offseason now? Were you worth the contract now? Because they move forward with you. We know the comments that Brian Flores, he mentioned the comments that Brian Flores said about him telling him he was horrible. You're not going to be nothing. And you got a coach, and they got you the coach now who's the complete opposite. And now it's going to be about for Miami taking that next leap, because we know they're an athletic, skilled, really fast team. But at the end of the day, you got to be physical, especially in playoff football, because usually the road to the Super Bowl comes from the teams who are most physical. Give me Jacksonville to win this game in an upset. Let me get Jacksonville 37-30 by a touchdown. I also think I'm making an assumption that this game is going to go to overtime. I'm calling it. If I'm wrong, y'all going to let me know about it. I think this game goes to overtime. Give me Jacksonville in an upset down in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium, 37-30. Okay, Broncos and Seahawks. Denver and Seattle, a rematch 2 years ago when these two teams played, it was Russell Wilson's homecoming debut underneath the Nate Hackett, and it was absolutely horrible. The Seattle Seahawks beat Denver 17-16, but here we are now with Sean Payton and Bo Nix leading the helm. Sean Payton's second year as head coach for the Denver Broncos, and Bo Nix's first year in this game. First, before I get it started, congratulations to cornerback Patrick Surtain II for getting that recent contract extension 2 days ago. The Denver made him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history with 4 years, $96 million. He'll be getting roughly paid around $24.5 million per year annually. And like I said, well-deserved. Well-deserved. And the reason how I like to describe Pastor, and like I say, y'all guys understand, a technician. There's a lot of great cornerbacks in our league. A lot of great cornerbacks in our league. Make no mistake about it. There is. But at the head of the pack is Pat Surtain. You got Pat Surtain, you got Sauce Gardner, and then you got the rest of the pack that's down below. I mean, Pat Surtain is going to probably go down as one of the greatest cornerbacks I think we've ever seen in NFL history. I mean, you're talking about somebody that plays the press well, somebody that plays man well. I mean, somebody that plays zone well. I mean, is smart, not afraid to come up and hit and make a tackle, come and get running backs. I mean, that dude is just so patient. I mean, he's patient in everything he does. I mean, he's locked down. Matter of fact, you name an elite wide receiver, he's locked them down. Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase in the same game. DK Metcalf 2 years ago and is about to do it again on Sunday. Okay, Devontae Adams 3 times. Okay, Keenan Allen. I mean, the dude's locked. Tyreek Hill. I mean, the dude's locked up every elite receiver. I mean, the technique in which he plays with, he sticks to the technique, and that's why I love me some Pat Surtain, man. I mean, you hear his own peers raving about him, saying, I mean, when he came into the league as a rookie, he looked like he was a 5-year vet. Then his second year, he looked like he was a 10-year vet, and each year he just gotten better and better. His own peers. I'm talking about Pat Surtain.
But also to be able to so patient. He's good at press. He's good at off. He's good at zone. I don't think, honestly, it's too many
weaknesses. It's going to be an interesting battle this week. I cannot wait to see the battle. But like I said, outside of Pat Surtain is where Denver has some questions at. We're going to see who's going to be lining up at cornerback 2 alongside of him. We all know Jaquan McMillan's supposed to project to be in the slot. He was an undrafted free agent, stuck up to the occasion last year. They got Riley Moss out of Iowa State. He's expected to take a big leap this year. First white cornerback in the NFL in 20 years. I believe, I can't tell you the name who the last one was right now, but they got Riley Moss back there. And like I said, a lot of unproven guys right now for Denver. Not a lot of big-time names. Then when you look at the offensive side of the ball, obviously Bo Nix won the starting job, also is going to be named captain. You got Cortland Sutton. You got Josh Reynolds. You got Marvin Mims, a sophomore guy. So you got playmakers. You got weapons around there. But the main thing for me is just going to be about how does Bo Nix look. And for Denver, it's not going to be about making the playoffs this year. Now, of course, if they go on to do that, it's going to be a horrific ride for them, but that's not something that we're expecting them to, and that's not where the bar is set. If they happen to do that, that's just them exceeding expectation. Now let's switch over to Seattle side of view for things. Now, as far as for Seattle, like I said, they got a new head coach. The Pete Carroll days are officially over. And what's it called? Take out Pete Carroll, and now let's insert Will McDonald, head coach from coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be his first year as the head coach. He was the defensive coordinator over there in Baltimore, and like I said, he did a great job with that defense. And when I look at this defense here in Seattle, man, it is a lot of big-time playmakers and a lot of weapons, man, starting off with Devon Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, okay, guys of that nature. You know, and like I said, for Seattle, the biggest thing for me is honestly Darius Leonard on the edge. Like I said, it's going to be about can they put it all together. Seattle's one of those teams we've heard the least about this whole offseason. Nobody's talking about. And why? They have so many weapons. It's because of the quarterback. Yeah, Geno Smith is not what we was consider elite, but when you look at the weapons surrounding him, and if you could just tailor an offense that fits him and what he likes to do, I mean, this Seattle team could really make a run. I mean, you think about guys, a long veteran like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, the JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Noah Fant, who's also been above average tight end, Kenneth Walker, and Travis Homer. I mean, they have weapons all over the place, man. This Seattle team is a team that's very versatile, and a team, like I said, that just needs to find the right mesh. And like I said, we're going to figure out if Geno Smith is the dude moving forward. We can't say he's not till we see him in a full. Like I said, we've seen him only with Shane Waldron in one system. Now we get a chance to see him with a new regime, a new offensive coordinator. And, of course, I expect Seattle to win this game. They're at home. They're a better team on paper. But make no mistake, I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means. I think we're sleeping on this Denver team, man. I mean, mean, there's talent there on this Denver team. Javonte Williams, a hard-nosed running back. Again, I believe Bo Nix, like I said, can give Caleb Williams and a lot of other guys, can give some guys run for their money up for Rookie of the Year this year. Make no mistake about that. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be an intriguing one, but go ahead and give me Seattle in this game. Give me Seattle 24-20. I think it's gonna be a closer game than what people expect. I believe we're gonna see, and for Denver fans, I believe y'all are gonna see what the future's soon to look like when Sean Payton gets all the ingredients that he wants. I believe that y'all do have y'all's guy. It's just going to be about making sure that he's the guy as the season goes along and seeing how it pans out and all that stuff. But like I said, and as far as for Seattle, the goal should be competing to win that NFC West because they were swept by their rivals last year in the San Francisco 49ers. And this team is great enough on paper where they should be looking at competing just higher than just making the playoffs, perhaps maybe even the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm very far. I love their offensive line and Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas as their two tackles. Like I said, a lot of nice talent here with that Seattle team. Give me Seattle 24-20 against the Denver Broncos this Saturday. Congratulations again to cornerback Patrick Surtain, best cornerback in pro football. Okay, Raiders and Chargers. Jim Harbaugh, the brother of John Harbaugh, makes his debut with his new team. Him and Justin Herbert, as they'll be taking on Antonio Pierce and his Vegas Raiders. And I expect Vegas to start knocking down this team as the season goes along. I expect them to start off 0-2, but make no mistake about it. We're going to see if, like I said, if Dave O'Connell's the guy. We're going to see if he's the guy at the quarterback. We all know they have Devontae Adams. They have Jacoby Myers, who had a great year last year. Max Crosby on the defensive side of the ball. Khalid Farrell at the edge rusher. A lot of great guys there for that a lot of studs there for that Raiders team. But when I look at the coaching, very soft. I mean, like I said, no hate on Antonio Pierce, the Black Forest, no doubt about it. I'm rooting for him. But it's very rare that we see a guy who was brought as an interim head coach to finish out the season gets a job as the head coach the following season. And I think this job was mainly predicated on Antonio Pierce on the relationship with the guys more so than the X's and O's. And when you're looking at from the Raiders standpoint, from the Raiders point of view, what matters more? You want a crowd pleaser, or you want somebody who can go out there and really get wins? Like I said, he's gonna have a full season to get it done. This is a divisional game. The Chargers, like I said, this is going to be a definitely better Chargers team now. First of all, they have the right dude leading the way. You don't got no ignorant fool in Brandon Staley. You got a real offensive-minded genius who has the right coaching staff around him, and Jim Harbaugh. And we all know he's going to tailor this offense and tailor everything that they do. They're going to, like I said, they got rid of a lot of big-time, a lot of skilled position guys that I know a lot of fans weren't happy of. But trust Jim Harbaugh. He's changing the approach. He's changing the way they go about it. You got J.K. Dobbins. You got Gus Edwards and guys like that in company. You got Isaiah Spiller. Okay, it's just going to be about ground and pound, taking pressure off of Justin Herbert. And what's the number one ingredient to having a successful offense and having a successful quarterback and keeping the quarterback upright? Supplying your quarterback with a run game. When a quarterback has a run game to lean on, it opens up the passing game. And that's what Jim Harbaugh is going to do with this Chargers team this year, just like how he did with Michigan. Okay, next up, give me the Chargers to win that game. Give me the Chargers 30-19. Give me the Chargers 30-19 at home. Cowboys and Browns. I believe this is America's game of the week. Deshaun Watson in 2 years has only played 12 games for Cleveland. They have a plethora of weapons now. You added Jerry Jeudy in the offseason, bringing him in for a 3-year, $58 million contract after never getting a chance to showcase why he was a round one, 15th pick in the 2020 NFL draft. And now he's going to have a chance to do it now. The Cleveland Browns, led by Kevin Stefanski as the head coach, went on and had one heck of an impressive run last year when Joe Flacco was blown out in the wild card round. And now it's going to be about Deshaun Watson's time to step up. Is Deshaun Watson the guy? Prove to us why we're paying you all this money. You see what I'm saying? And you got Amari Cooper. You can say Elijah Moore and company, Nick Chubb. He's going to be working his way back in slowly but surely as the season gets underway. And the defense is the dog pound's always going to be a force to be reckoned with back there in that backfield. Make no mistake about that. Okay, so when I look at all these things and I'm putting all this into consideration, I think this is going to be a heavyweight battle. Okay, and now not only that, as far as for Dallas Cowboys now, CeeDee Lamb got his money, $136 million. Okay, he's happy. He's going to have a reason to play for now. And if I'm Dak Prescott, you better go out there and have the season of your life. And I heard Dak Prescott talking to the media, and he said the right things. He said all but the right things. He shouldn't be complaining about no contract. If I'm Dak Prescott, you go out there, you play as free as you ever played before, and you go out there regardless of how it ends you go out there and you get your money. Because one thing we do know as Cowboy fans, we know you're going to have a great season, Dak. We know you're going to have a great regular season. Go out there, use that to your advantage, and go get your $60 million next offseason. Rather if that be with Dallas or rather if that be with another team. Because one thing about it, if I'm Dak Prescott right now, you don't have the right to sit over there and be complaining and asking where your money's at and be acting like CeeDee Lamb. Because at the end of the day, Dak Prescott, you only have 2 playoff wins in 8 years. 2 playoff wins in 8 years. Like I said, we don't want to hear about no more what you're doing in the regular season. It's all about the playoffs at this point, okay? You lost Tony Pollard, okay? Like I said, you got Zeke Elliott back. You got CeeDee Lamb. Back. Michael Parsons is still on their defense. Not Tre'Davious White. Trevon Diggs, he's going to be coming back off an injury. Okay, so like I said, Dallas Cowboys, like I said, still a lot of the same, still some pieces there, still most of the same pieces there. Didn't make a lot of moves this offseason, but nevertheless, they still have a team that's still on paper, and I believe that's capable of getting to the Super Bowl if the right pieces is in play. And I believe as far as the main thing is for Mike McCarthy is sitting over there and calling a better game, managing, being a better game. You know how you hear quarterbacks be a better game manager, be a better game caller as far as what Mike McCarthy. Stop having Dak Prescott drop back and throw the ball 40, 45 times like he's Patrick Mahomes. That's not who he is. When the pressure's at its highest, Dak Prescott tends to shrink. We've seen it. And in big games and definitely in postseason games. Give me the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. It's going to be a close game. Give me Dallas to win this game. I got Dallas 30-27 by a field goal. There's going to be a high-scoring game for the first game of the week. Usually the first week 1 games typically are, okay? Now let me get over to Tampa Bay now. Baker Mayfield on a new contract. This is a Mayfield-led team. Baker Mayfield finally found his home now. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Todd Bowles is the head coach. You got Devin White, Vita Vea, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like I said, didn't make no moves, and that's probably the problem why. That's the problem right there. Went to the postseason, got out in the second round. But like I said, the thing is for Tampa Bay is you didn't get to the Super Bowl, so obviously there's something that you're missing. So they're just running it back arguably with the exact same roster. But as far as for Tampa Bay, though, I will say, I believe that Baker Mayfield comes up here with that same confidence and that same firepower that he possessed and had that poise like he did a year ago. I believe this can still be a very scary Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. You have an ageless Mike Evans back there for you. You know, who seems like, you know, the game never is going to pass him up. You see what I'm saying? Having 1,000 yards every year for the past 9 years, an all-pro, a Pro Bowler, you know, multiple times. So like I said, you got that working for you. Then the defense, when they're going to fly around Todd Bowles and stuff, we know how relentless that they are, okay? And as far as for the Washington Commanders, it's going to be the debut of round 1, second pick, Jayden Daniels, rookie debut. Like I said, Washington, Terry McLaurin. They lost Jahan Dotson to the Philadelphia Eagles, who's going to be a third wide receiver down there in Philly. That's great for them. But as far as for them, you still got Terry McLaurin. You got Diami Brown. He showed flashes of what he could be with his arm and with his legs during the preseason. Now we're going to see a full game sample size of it come this Sunday. And I'm rooting for him, okay? I'm going to tell you that now. I'm rooting for Jayden Daniels. I believe he's going to play really well. I believe he's going to have a better season than people give him credit for, honestly, seriously. And he's a guy who we're not talking about winning Offensive Rookie of the Year or just Rookie of the Year, all in all. But I got the Buccaneers winning this game. Give me Tampa Bay. I got Tampa Bay 20-17. Give me Tampa Bay 20-17 in this game. In a thriller, 2 more games left. Rams and Lions is going to be Sunday night. That's going to be a rematch of the divisional round game from last year. Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. And like I said, for this game right here, it's going to be about, like I said, you Matthew Stafford, you're going back into your old home. You've seen how they did you last year, okay? You know, Puka, and for the Rams, Puka's healthy. You know, Sean McVay is head coach. You know, you have a healthy Cooper Kupp now. Tyler Higbee, Matthew Stafford, a guy who I still believe has a lot in the tank when he's fully healthy. A guy who can still sling that ball now. Like I said, think for them is just getting back on track. The offensive line is going to be some huge question marks for them this year as well for them. I want to see how that offensive line is going to look for the I want to see how that offensive line is going to really look for Tampa for the Rams. I want to see how that offensive line is going to look for the Rams. See if they can keep Matthew Stafford upright. No Aaron Donald, officially retired. Life after him, who's going to be that guy to step up now in that defense. Just a really young team, and I expect the Rams to be one of those young teams that fly around and really earn every win that they get. And as far as for Detroit, Dan Campbell and company, y'all are a call away from going to the Super Bowl and taking down San Francisco. Amon-Ra St. Brown got that new contract. Jared Goff, it's time to show that he can get him over the hump. You can be the quarterback that can finally get this team over the hump. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got David Montgomery in that backfield. Like I said, I really like this Lions team and what they possess. And I think another year, like I said, they're definitely the villains of the NFL. And I definitely expect them to take this game, take Week 1 on Sunday night. Give me the Lions in this game. Give me the Lions 28-24. 28-24 in a close one. I think it's going to be defense to start off, and then I think as the game gets settled away, after we're going to start seeing Jared Goff coming to his own, man, because like I said, if Ben Johnson's calling the plays, he's not going to be an offensive coordinator for too much longer. Mark my words on that. He's soon to be a head coach. That dude is a specialist on that side of the ball working with the offense, and I believe the Lions are going to build off of what they left off last year. They were young, they were inexperienced. Now they know what it was like to get there, and I think they're going to want to relish every single moment and relish every single opportunity again. And the last game, Monday night, the Batman, Aaron Rodgers taking on for the 49ers, the NFC champions last year, who represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. And for this game right here, like I said, can Aaron Rodgers just play a full game healthy? Can we not hold our breaths in awe when he goes down? Can he just play a full game healthy? I want to see how he moves, how he looks. Is he looking 40, 41 years old, or is he still having that? Or is he look healthier now? Is he moving around good now? Because we know playing at this age, taking hits is no joke, especially for Aaron Rodgers, especially after the injury he's coming off of now. Garrett Wilson, the question for us never been about on paper. Since they acquired Aaron Rodgers, they believe he's the guy who can get them over the hump. Like I said, the division, you're probably just competing. You're just competing with Miami and possibly Buffalo. So, like I said, I do want to see with Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, the goal for him, like I said, if he does not get them to the Super Bowl, it is failed. It is a failed mission, because that's the only reason why he's here, is to get this team to the Super Bowl. We know that defense can hold them down. Boy, Quentin Williams, that dude, that defense, C.J. Mosley, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, those guys right there on that defense are no joke, and they've been the best part of this team, honestly, for a very long time. It's just been they've not had no offense now. Okay, now I'm looking at it all into consideration. Now you got Aaron Rodgers, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Nathaniel Hackett, like I said, we know he's not going to be calling no plays. So I'm going to be looking at guys like Garrett Wilson, what he's going to be doing with guys like that. You have Alan Lazard, okay? You have Mike Williams, who was acquired a former LA Chargers. If he can stay healthy, he could be a 1,000-yard guy if he's healthy. He's a big-time threat. He's going to be a threat in the red zone. He should be that guy that should make life easier on Aaron Rodgers on those 50-50 passes. And, I just want to see, honestly, the big thing for me is just how I'm really going to be watching Aaron Rodgers, how he's moving, how he's feeling, and once he's back, and is he good to really be able to play football for this year. That's going to be the biggest thing for me. And as far as for San Francisco, Brandon Ayuk, new contract, congratulations. We knew he was just talking about, I knew that was just a leverage move, he had never envisioned on going to Pittsburgh. You could keep the Mike Tomlin comments to yourself. He never envisioned on going to Pittsburgh. He just used leverage so we can get his contract. We can just get his contract. And I don't blame him for that. The players need their money. Make no mistake about that, okay? But like I said, Kyle Shannon's going to be another thing. Win and repeat again. Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Fred Warner, a bunch of Pro Bowls on that side of the ball. Now this is going to be about, like I said, getting back to the stage again. Like I said, San Francisco, they dominated the whole NFC last year. It's going to be tougher. It's not going to be that same. There's going to be some mountains y'all going to have to climb this year. There's going to be some teams that are coming for y'all, because y'all did represent the NFC in the Super Bowl a year ago against the two-time reigning defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. So it's going to be about, how does it look this year? Trent Williams, is he still the same left tackle? Is he still elite? All that stuff is going to be taken into consideration. The main thing for San Francisco this year I'm going to be watching out for is the evolution of Brock Purdy. Can Brock Purdy become more of an off-schedule guy, or is he still going to be a guy that's relying on the play calling of Kyle Shanahan? Because there's still people that feel like that Brock Purdy is a product of Kyle Shanahan. Is Brock Purdy good enough? We can if it's not there, can he make plays on his own? Can he be a play extender? We want to see that. Obviously they believe in him. They have the utmost right and confidence in Brock Purdy. But like I said, a new year, still have your weapons. I want to see against a defense like this, because this is going to be a good defense you're going to be playing around against. Like I said, this was a top 10 defense against the rush and the pass just a year ago in the New York Jets. I want to see how he's going to mesh. I want to see how he's going to mesh and how he's going to look in going against this team. And also, on both sides, on the other side of the ball, what kind of formula, how's Wilcox going to do, how they going to do. We know when you're scheming up against Aaron Rodgers, the guy who we know is going to get the ball out fast, and the guy who we know success is predicated on the middle of the field. So I want to see all that. But for this one right here, I'll go ahead and take I'll take San Francisco. Let me get San Francisco in a close one. Let me get San Francisco 17-10. 17-10, low-scoring game. It's not going to be like a typical high-scoring 49ers game. It's not going to be, and I think for the Jets, it's going to be rough. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers' first game back in a long time. You can't expect him to have just like go out there and just, last time, just pick up from where he left off in 2021. It's going to be a filler. Probably the first couple games of the season to get acclimated is going to be a stretch. It's going to be a rough going for Aaron Rodgers, but I believe, like I said, like a Hall of Famer, like the experienced veteran that he is, the more he plays, the better he's going to get. He's going to get that feel for the game that he loves and that he's so great at, like he once had, as the season gets going. And that's going to be it for my predictions. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all let me know what y'all want to hear next in the comment section down below. Y'all make sure to please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as I would greatly appreciate it. And y'all let me know what y'all think about my predictions, man. Y'all let me know. Be like, nah, Cam, I don't know about those. Or like I said, y'all can wait till Sunday. Y'all can always reach out to me on all social media platforms, on Instagram, Twitter, at ShootingForTheStars Podcast. And y'all just let me know some things, man, of what y'all think about these predictions. And also, what did y'all think about tonight's game against the Chiefs and the Ravens? And will the Chiefs three-peat? Is this going to be the first team ever in NFL history to three-peat? Y'all let me know all that good stuff. And I'll be coming at y'all with recaps and stuff more after tomorrow night's game, after Sunday's game. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be going on the road. Like I said, this whole NFL journey, this whole NFL season is going to be a ride. It's going to be an adventure with all y'all. Y'all are going to be coming along with me. Y'all are going to see it all. Y'all are going to see the recaps. Y'all are going to see the previews. Y'all are going to see player of the weeks, player of the months, who's looking like some Pro Bowlers, who's looking like some Super Bowl contenders. Y'all are going to be getting all that inside stuff, and I'm going to be speculating, and I'm going to be covering all of it. I'm going to be here to bring y'all guys to break down every single step of the way. Just make sure that post notification button is turned on, and I will see y'all in the next one on Shooting for the Stars podcast with y'all's one and only host, Cameron Williams.